Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, we give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chagadash, the honors to the apostles and the elders, the great millstone, peace and salutations to the Akim, to the elect, that are scattered across the four corners of this earth, pushing this truth and faith and sincerity. Shalom. I'm the bro Shemala from the GMS Houston camp. And this lesson, I'm be going into Mark the 13th chapter. All right, Lord willing, I get through the whole thing. So yeah, we can start right at the top. It says, and as he went out of the temple, one of his disciples said unto him, Master, see what manner of stones and what buildings are here? And Yahweh shall answer and said unto him, Seest thou these great buildings? There shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Right, going to the end, or the end of that time, which was 70 AD. You had the Romans when they sacked Jerusalem. You see it besieged Jerusalem. And it's a lot of history on 70 AD that you can look up, and research, things that happened. And they made the Ark of Titus because of that moment. You see what it says. Now he sat upon the Mount of Olives over against the temple. Peter, James, and John and Andrew asked him privately, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign when all things shall be fulfilled? It's basically like Matthew 24, the 24th chapter. They asked in the signs of the end, like what's going to be going on. You see? And it says, and this was, all the prophets, wants the end to come. It's like the scriptures say, you're supposed to hasten the day. And you see, because we're in the wicked rulership, wicked kingdom under Esau Edom, so-called white man, right? The so-called Americans. And back then, we were under the Romans, right? Catching hell. We're catching hell today. And this is the Roman Empire all over again, reincarnated. Verse 5, it says, Yahweh shall answering them began to say, Take heed lest any man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. You're going to have many prophets or false prophets, that start springing up all over social media, YouTube, right? Like the Lord is dealing with them, having these so-called deep revelations. You see, deep breakdowns, right? Just completely going off. You see, but they're going to have a big following that's going to be deceived. It says, And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. And you have wars and rumors of wars. It's always been that. You see, but much more now. Right? Much more now. The rumors of wars, it's a lot of animosity between these different nations, especially these other nations towards America. It was like one little thing could set everything off. But like it says in the book of Revelation, that the Most High, basically commanded, the angels to hurt not the earth until the servants be sealed. So that's why I haven't kicked off yet. Revelation 7, after these things, I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on the tree. And that wind is talking about the destruction, that nuclear wind, because that's what's going to take this place out. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, and he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. So this destruction cannot come. It cannot come until all the elect have woken up. Until Yahweh Shai has all of his sheep. You see, they have awakened to the gospel and believe. Then the wars can actually take place, which that final war is World War III. You see, which would be the last war, right? And Yahweh Shah is going to return during that war, right? Whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. You see, and after that will be no more wars. Like it says in Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, nations shall not learn war anymore, nor lift up sword. But this is Mark 13:8. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows, right? You're going to have these people out here just going crazy. You see? You're going to have a lot of infighting. You know, you're going to have, like I said, the wars, famines, earthquakes. You see? It's just the beginning of sorrow. It's not the end. All these things are coming soon. Right, to America, and rightfully so. You know, these things have to happen. The wicked has to be punished. And this is the way that the Most High is going to do it. You see, He's going to teach people through pain. Right, which are the Israelites, which mainly, you know, they are the ones that's supposed to be obedient to the Lord, to the law, statutes, commandments, because we were given those. We was given the commandments, right, to make us separate. You see, but the Lord got to teach them through pain and through death. It says, but take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to councils, and in the synagogues ye shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them. Right, back then, you read in the book of Acts, the apostles, you know, they were brought before councils, before Caiaphas, high priest, and they, you know, all of those chief priests, you know, for teaching Yahweh Shai. You see, it was a lot of trouble being stirred up for teaching the gospel. And the same thing is going to happen today's time. You go to Isaiah 13. The burden of Babylon, 13:1. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Lift thee up a banner upon the high mountain, which the banner is the truth of these scriptures, the words that we are speaking through the Spirit. Lift thee up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the noble. So we are teaching this truth, rebuking and condemning, right? And people are going to the gates of the nobles, meaning the elites. You see, the high ones of the society. And they're telling them about us, right? So they are in the know. Sooner or later, once this man really want to kick his new world off, right, he's going to start coming after us. Right, but hey, the Lord going to be with us. So, ain't nothing to really trip about. It says, in the gospel, verse 10, and the gospel must first be published among all nations. And how's that happening? Through the internet. This is how it's going throughout all nations, and also we are scattered throughout all nations. And you have brothers waking up throughout all these lands, right? Brothers and believers waking up in all these lands that they were scattered in. It says, but when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what ye shall speak, neither do ye premeditate, but whatsoever shall be given you in that hour, that speak ye. For it is not ye that speak, but the Holy Spirit, right? The Holy Spirit is going to come upon us to say the things that we need to say, so we don't got to try to plan it out. Oh, if I'm in this situation, what I'm going to say, or I'm going to say this to him, or I'm going to say that. Nah, the Most High going to put it in your spirit exactly what to say. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. It's like when the apostles were taken up. They always were speaking in the spirit. You see? It's like when Stephen, a great example was Stephen, when he was brought before the council. Acts 7, he went into the whole history in the spirit. You see? He went from Abraham all the way into the current time. It says, now, verse 12, now the brother shall betray the brother to death, and the father the son, and the children shall rise up against their parents, and shall cause them to be put to death. Now you're going to have a lot of division, you see, in these times to come. Right, Matthew 24, it says that because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. So we're going to be humiliated and hated, right, for Yahweh Shai. Like, just like he was humiliated and hated and lied on, and, all of these things, betrayed, all these things. And we got to go through that because we are his servants. You see, and it's going to be all for him. All right, this is what we're doing it for. It's so we can gain the reward, right, the kingdom of heaven, just so we can gain everlasting life, which that life is in Yahweh Shai, and he's going to bring that. You see, this is the fight. This is that it says fight the good fight of faith, and we're going to be doing it sometimes. It's going to try your faith. It's going to be some tough conditions, right? It's going to try to shake your faith and test your faith, and if your faith ain't strong enough, you're going to fail. But that's why we got now to build up our faith. That's why, we got prayer, we got fasting, these different accounts. Ultimately, if you're the elect, the Most High going to give you, everything that you need to get through whatever he going to put you through. Because everybody ain't going to be the same. You see? So it's not really nothing that, that can be prepared for. The Most High go prepare you for how he sees fit. All right? Because we all going to go through different troubles, and it's going to have Jacob's trouble, but we all going to be tested with different things. You see? Can't nobody say, hey, this and that going to happen to you, or you going to go through this and that. Everybody's situation is going to be different. You see, hey, the Most High going to put you through something that's extreme for you, but you can handle it. But that situation may not be extreme for the next man. All right? But continuing on. But when ye shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing where it ought not, let him that readeth understand, to let them that be in Judea flee to the mountains, right after 70 AD. Well, this is talking about during 70 AD when they ran up in the temple, right? And you had Israelites that fled. They fled into different parts of the earth, mainly, into Africa, West Africa, that coast, you see, where they had Fort Judah, which I think they called it Ouida. You see, we fled out of Israel. In the good book, which I need to get back into it, to read about that, Babylon to Timbuktu, and it goes into basically the slave market being filled with Jews, and it speaks about us fleeing Israel into Africa. But it says, and let him that is on the housetop not go down to the house, neither enter therein to take anything out of his house. And let him that is in the field not turn back again for to take up his garment. Right, so it's like that time coming, you just get the fuck out of there, man. It ain't nothing you want to stick around for. You see, which this was talking about back then. Woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, and pray ye that your flight be not in winter. Right, for in those days shall be affliction such as was not from the beginning of the creation, which the Most High created unto this time, neither shall there be. Which the times that are coming now are going to be the greatest time, or the toughest times ever that have ever happened. You see, Daniel 12 speaks about that. You see, a time like no other. Jeremiah 30:7. Last that day is great. There's none like it. It says, and except that the Lord has shortened those days, no flesh should be saved, but for the elect's sake, whom he had chosen, he has shortened the days. You see, so the days are all the time basically is being sped up for the elect. You see, for the elect's sake, because if we was here, for hundreds and hundreds of years, man, the society would be through and finished. You see, it'd be a lot of weirdness you see here in this place, and this is not the place to be at all. It says, and then if any man shall say to you, lo, here is the anointed, or lo, he is there, believe him not. For false anointed ones and false prophets shall arise and shall show signs and wonders to the deuce, even if it were possible. If it were possible, even the elect. So these false prophets are not going to deceive the elect with their so-called, with their doctrines and the way that they teach in the scriptures and their so-called deep revelations. And you see, because these men these days, they are slick talkers, right? And they are deceitful. That is Paul said, especially they of the circumcision. Inside is men that speaking things which they are not, and they have big followings. Right? They speaking smooth things, but the elect, if they have any elect amongst them, they will come out of that. Right? And any different groups, the elect could very well be amongst them. It just take a little bit more. It just take the Most High to show a little bit more for them. You see, for them to come up out of that. But you have some that no matter what the Most High does, it's going to be of no effect, because the Most High got that blindness over them. Just like David said, let their table be made a snare, a trap, which that's talking about the scriptures. It says, but take ye heed, behold, I have foretold you all things. See, so Yahweh shot, like, just listen. Hey, I'm telling you these things before it happens. So he was prophesying. That's what he foretelling. Saying things before it happens. That's going to happen. That's a prophecy of prophesying. To speak before. Right? So we got to basically he giving us the game, so to speak. Right? Of what's going to happen in the last days. And everybody don't know this information. See, so what ought, like the scripture says, 2 Peter the 3rd chapter, what manner of person ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? It says, the prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. It says, but in those days after that tribulation, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her lights. And the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers that are in heaven shall be shaken. Right? Some things going to be happening to where, this Esau Edom and the world, basically, they're not going to be able to use science or anything to tell what's going to go on or what's going to be happening. You see? Right? Because the sun and the moon represents wisdom, but also you're going to have the missiles that's going to cover the skies and the chariots. You see? And the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers that are in heaven shall be shaken, and the missiles falling will look like stars falling out of the sky. It says, then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. So all these things are happening around the earth, because Yahushua said that he has come to set fire on earth, and what will it be already kindled? So it's going to be things already happening. You see? And then he going to return to bring more fire. So he coming in the clouds. So he not just going to be coming. What it says is with great power and glory. You see, so in a magnificent fashion, he's going to appear. And people, it said every eye shall see him. So the way he gonna appear, he gonna grab everybody's attention, and everybody gonna know that's the Lord. There ain't gonna be no aliens or all of that. No, hey, this is the one whom you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. This is the Messiah and the Savior of Israel. It's gonna be known. And then shall he send his angels and shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the uttermost part of the earth to the uttermost part of the heavens. So wherever we scatter, he gonna send his angels to save, right before he destroy America, which is Babylon the Great in the scriptures. And it's gonna be a beautiful time. It says, now learn a parable of the fig tree when their branch is yet tender and put it forth leaves, and ye know that summer is near. So ye in like manner, when ye shall see these things come to pass, know that it is not even at the door. So when you see all these things, the rumors of wars and the earthquakes, right? These different things and uproars, things going on in the planet Earth. All right, these prophecies coming to pass. Us prophesying, waking up, right? Those dry bones in the valley. Man, this thing is close. It's close. You see, it's almost that time. So we got to be ready, which you're going to go into later on in this chapter, that we got to be ready and watch. Verily I say unto you that this generation shall not pass, all things will be done. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. Right? It said this generation shall not pass. So, hey, this is the generation that is going to go through these things, or when the Yahushua is going to return. Because this is Rome all over again. And it made me think about it yesterday when I had came across Revelation 1:7, when it says that, behold, he come with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they which pierced him. So it's saying that the ones that were back then, right, in the Roman Empire that pierced him and this and that, are going to be back today. So it would make sense if that whole generation is back, right? All of us that was back during the time, that Yahushua was walking the earth, that whole generation back then is back today. You see, the ones who said, let his blood be upon us and this and that. He's coming back to Rome all over again. You see? Upon that same generation. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. But of that day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father. So the Most High only knows when this thing's going to kick off. The Most High haven't revealed that to anybody. So this secret is kept with the Most High. And when it's time, He gonna tell you how it's shot. Go do your thing. You see? Hey, he's coming to bring judgment and salvation. It says, take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants, and every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch. Watch ye therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house cometh, at even, or at midnight, or at the cock crowing, or in the morning, lest coming suddenly he find you sleeping. And what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch. So we got to watch, because we don't know when this thing's going to happen, just like he don't know. But we were given certain signs and things to look for. Second Ezra, the 9th chapter says, measure thou the time diligently. And you do that with the scriptures. Right? And so the Son of Man left his house and gave authority to his servants. So it's like I think Paul said, being entrusted with the gospel. So, we got to take care of things. Yahweh Shah, before he left, he told Peter, hey, feed my sheep 3 times. You see? So we have been entrusted with everything. We got to take care of everything when he get back. See, like I said, he's going to require what he gave us with usury. Those talents. You see, he's going to expect everything to be in order as it's supposed to be. And for the ones who ain't been watching and ain't been doing, what they supposed to been doing, see, hiding the talents, putting it under the napkin, or being deceitful. You see, leading the flock astray. Those ones are going to be dealt with, So, that's the lesson. Hope that this lesson was edifying to you brothers. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.